Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dework PBL Workgroup. Today is 12th July, and today we're gonna demonstrate our content we have created to each other, look at the results, and even play around how to upload it, and just as an example of what to come. One thing I would record and show you here is some changes to the Dework platform itself, or the way it's categorized, so we kind of have the idea how the navigation will look like, the menus. And then we also look into the workgroup roles, because ambassador program, the logic changed, so it's no longer proposal based as previously, so we can allow some room to additional contributions. So yeah, jumping into the first item is the navigation. So what I changed was under this module, I now created, I clicked it, this Dework PBL stuff. So in the future, there will be like more options here. When I highlight it, I can jump between the stuff. When I opened up it directly takes me to this Dework PBL, and then I created an example of like some other PBL. So we're going to have like Dework PBL, then ambassador PBL, workgroup PBL, like whatever we come up with that feels like that should be a learning method we should go through. Then we last time discussed about like the differentiating into the smaller tasks of what I did. So I didn't actually change the content yet to the smaller pieces, but I prepared the navigation. So we have this like a different section. And what I did notice is that when you jump into the lesson, the lesson itself has like lessons on the left side. The navigation then changes, so I cannot jump back to the previous onboarding from here. So we need to discuss that with Andamio, which is actually opportunity for next week. I'll come back to that later. But yeah, so right now where we go is like you either navigate here or go to general modules, and then you're able to wait a second. Okay, so either the clicking modules take back to the main page, and this button actually doesn't do anything. And then you have directly to under this stuff. So yeah, now it's basically onboarding. So next step is we are doing like background knowledge, where each of us will basically doing like 201, 202, 203, like these sections with pulling background knowledge, and each of us will have our specific lesson. Like here, it's like one thing, and where you go through. And again, like we're currently missing that navigation back to the next stage. But there could be a link, so we could do that link in the content itself, say, okay, there is the next page. But that comes more clear once we have figured out the entire process. Yeah, so basically that's it from the category side and the navigation. Regarding this workgroup roles and stuff. So we now have the PBL team role. As you can see, I also pinged you in the chat previously, so that everybody who is contributing gets that role, and that's easier to kind of ping each other. There is now a Dework PBL Workgroup channel, so if you have any more questions, you can kind of use that channel and don't need to use process grid and ambassadors only for these questions. And when I actually added also like a space to kind of know our coordination spaces. So every time I do send, okay, there is a next meeting happening, then I post that at least both the meeting summaries and the preparation, or like the call outs to the different communities. One is Kimba Labs, where it's like a channel called B0 and related to governance guild. Then under Swarm SingularityNet, defunding and ambassadors. So when people are joining to Swarm, and now it gets more active again, they see, okay, what's happening in other spaces, and they see this workgroup popping up over and over again. And then obviously the Dework PBL in our own simulator, etc. And if there is like an idea or you have like coordinations, we can add more stuff. So we kind of have that overview of where we even coordinating that event, who are like involved. And I also added tags to each of these tags boosted by Gigi. So that is like, because we have this $1,000 bonus funding, basically, then from the Gigi, I kind of differentiated some of these because we're now able to, we're not like tied into that proposal we proposed in the Treasury board like a few months ago. We can simply do tasks and then let's see the community is okay with these contributions. So I added this $10 per hour for active contributors. So actually here who participate, but also create PBL models or do any of these tasks that are rewarded, they also get compensated for being in this call. But it differentiates tools. For us, it's easier because right now everybody, but if now somebody new joins in, he won't automatically get rewarded for that. But he's like interested in it, gives that incentive for him to start also contributing to get rewarded for being in this call. And because in the call, we are mainly very focusing on the content itself too. Yeah, and to take that, okay, and then added a new role called Quest Facilitators, which ties into our next topic. Like usually we have bi-weekly, so we're gonna change position with archival workgroup. So next week, instead of archival workgroup, we have Dework PBL again, and we have Kimball Labs, the Andamio team joining in, where they help us to basically set up the content, but again, run the like a setup event. So we record the entire session and then we see how do we even run a local server, because next steps behind that is you're going to use local server to post the content yourself to the website. And yeah, how do we do the permissions and like that stuff that we will figure out later. But so we have like, but then when thinking of these, I was thinking, okay, when we do have Quest facilitators, perhaps it should be okay also to kind of reward them facilitating or like joining this call, even though they're not active contributors, they are still partnering with us somewhat. So when we need something changes in website, we can invite people in instead of operators and give them kind of the reward for giving that insight and that opportunity to develop for us. Yeah, so these were the housekeeping stuff and some changes. And now while we go into other topics, I will then stop the recording, and those who are watching this from YouTube, look out for the meeting summary to listen what decisions and what outcomes we were able to get from this meeting. Thanks for watching. See you out there.